Krista, it's time to fess up. About? You're over 45 and still have to screen for colon cancer.
Let me edit this part one. Me getting into let's see. So that's the same thing, the tablet. I mean, what you call this tab. So I go in, say scan password. Not connected. So it is doing the same thing the camera is doing. So let's do forget. If that's even the name, let's see if I can change the name. Let's see. Because it's connecting to a different, that wasn't the password. So it's connecting to another Wi-Fi using that same network name, because now I'm looking at the right password and that's not the password. That's why it won't connect. So okay. And let's see. this. Let's see if it's going to do it again. Right, now, let's see. Yep, so it does exactly right. So what it did, it has two networks that was labeled. That's why he sent it to the phone, and it said wrong password. Just like now I changed the password and it said that it is connected. Alright, so this is connected. Now let's see if we can connect the camera. This is the main important thing. And I got my phone for that. So alright, so let's see. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Roku and say ready to connect. It's just not gonna be a number. QR code scan. Please wait. I think I just put the wrong password. Alright, so Motorola Moto G24 works. Camera. Duplicated network. Setup completed. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so definitely have to talk about this tonight. Definitely will be going green.
Like I did nothing wrong.
Duplicated network. Setup completed. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so definitely have to talk about this tonight. Definitely will be going green.
I ain't did nothing wrong.
Alright, so let's see. Alright, so definitely have to talk about this tonight. Definitely will be going green. Camera works. Alright, so camera works, this work, I'm happy. TV works. Now, we're gonna figure this out. I have all of the notes here. Let's go on live on my other Facebook. Now let's get on Alright, so this is
and this looks like, to me, it could be turned into a dispatcher board. And because Cheryl Bean had one in her house.
okay, so let me get connected to Wi-Fi. Thank you, Jesus. I miss my camera being on. Let's record. So we're connected here. Let's go live and let's get ready to do a presentation tonight. Let's get everything done and we're getting ready to go green. Now let's see why the notifications are not coming. Let's go back in here. And it has the wrong name. Name is Crystal Ketchup Bedroom. Crystal Ketchup Room. Alright, save. Now, notifications are all there. Event detection, sound, we want that there. Detection to done, need that turned on. And detection sensitivity, high. And we want to restart and let's get in motion. Let's get going. Going green. Alright, so let's get on YouTube. If they might be going on YouTube. Might not. But it's not. I'm happy. I'm on my own personal camera. So it's 6:59 p.m. and it is today is 6:59 p.m. and it is April 28th, 2025. And let's go over to, we're not going to do a spring cast. Yeah. No, we're going to do a spring cast today. Not yet. Alright, next. And then we're going to do, no. And then we're going to do live. They let me go live. They're not mad. Oh. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go live today. And let me get something to drink. I'm motivated and ready to chit chat. Come on down. Woo! Alright. Let's do it. Alright, got me something to drink. Let's go green. Alright. Father God, I thank you and I acknowledge you in my ways. Forgive me today for my sins that I've done that are against your will. I'm so grateful for your grace, and I do not take advantage of it. It means everything to me. Without your grace, without your mercy, without you being who you are, I could not stand here in this room and talk, more or less be saved. A person like me, you died on the cross for my sins, for my thoughts, for my ways, for my desires. You died on the cross for everything I could even think of doing, and you called me righteous. And you said that because Abraham believed in you, you counted his sins as righteous just because of his faith. Oh, great God that you are, that you could look down on me and see me as righteous. You can see my belief in spite of my unbelief, in spite of what it feels like sometimes, in spite of everything that's going on, in spite of every trick. Oh, that you see me as righteous, that you see me as holy, and that you call me accountable. Don't let me abuse your power in any way, for I want to be just and like you, holy, set aside, and called according to your purpose. I thank you, great God that you are. Have your way in my life tonight. Oh, that you would speak through me and use divine words that are edifying, that would mean something, but that are powerful. You know how to create, you know how to design, and you know how to build. And that you would take this very thing that the enemy meant for harm, oh great God that you are, that you will work it out for your good. I love you, I thank you, I praise you. I give you all the glory, the honor, and the praise. I thank you for all of the wisdom that you have imparted unto me. Oh, that it would not come out of my mouth and go into soil that cannot be fertilized for your kingdom and for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. We give you all the glory and the honor. Amen. So today we're going green. Because I'm going to turn what the enemy meant for harm around for my good. So, all right, I had to get this out. All right. This is going to be a T-Mobile review because of what I experienced today going to get Wi-Fi. So, I've already said that anything I get is free and I don't have to pay anything for it. Something wrong with it. It's a setup. So today, we're going to talk about going into T-Mobile, getting Wi-Fi. Joe cut off his Wi-Fi. And his Wi-Fi only allows me to connect on this phone only. It doesn't allow me to connect on this phone that looks exactly like this phone, but this phone is broken. But it won't let me connect to the TV. It won't let me connect on the tablet. And it won't connect my camera, but it will connect only to this traveling SIM. So I had to go get service, and they aggravated me so much going to sleep so that Wi-Fi and the need to feel protected would present itself. So I went to go get hotspot, Metro, and because the device is using other connections, it used a lot of the hotspot. So it wasn't working out. So I went to go to Walmart to check on a hotspot. Conveniently, Walmart said they didn't have any hotspots in the store. I started to get a tape recorder, but I already have one in storage. My issue with just recording on tapes, they take all the tapes off the market, so you can't buy none. I bought the tape recorder for $20 in 2021 in around April, and they took every tape off the market. I went to Walmart after Walmart. They took every tape cassette off the shelf. I couldn't buy any. So I went to T-Mobile, and I asked for a hotspot. But he pulled out this and said, this is free. He didn't want me to have hotspot because hotspot hooks to a device that hooks to a network, whereas the internet hooks to a network in itself that could be anywhere T-Mobile is. So I said, okay. Immediately, he starts getting information and just gets to going on his tablet. He takes the tablet and says, put your email in, which I hate typing on those tablets because they're going to take those tablets and use them for fingerprints. And then he says, and every time he said do that, he took off. Gone. Away from the camera. So at this point, I'm wondering, why are you not on live? You never go anywhere near T-Mobile or any cell phone store that you're not on live. Why are you not on live recording this? Because it doesn't matter. All they're going to do is take it off and put one view on it. The same way they do this. So I didn't really worry about it. So I went and the guy had his jacket zipped up, no name showing. Then I asked what his name was and he unzipped it and it's just a name there. But he didn't say, he just moved it this way. So they wrote, that means you just went to the back of the store and they said, here, give her a badge, and he put it there. But is that not the same name that was from around this same time in 23, maybe, or 2023, out in near Peachtree Road? But either way, so what happens is he gets on there And he says, "Oh, this is just. You can easily get this get this account. You don't have to worry about anything. We give it to you free. You just walk out the door." I said, "Go to a phone number." Yeah. Oh, that's the catch. So he activates it, tells me again, put your password in, and then T-Mobile just starts sending alert. And then it says, "Thank you for e-signing your documents." Well, what document did I sign? So he took it, the first thing he did wrong, according to the law, which it doesn't matter as a slave, but if we were talking about somebody white that has rights, then the first thing we would do is your billing preferences. Now, when you're in a setup, all of your billing preferences are going to go electronic because they're changing your state. And they don't want you to get bills in one place because you're being set up. So we want these bills to go to an email, and that email is going to be attached to a device. So that's the first violation. The second is you have no right to sign on my behalf for nothing. So it clearly says, and I pointed out to him, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about that. That don't mean nothing because you're a slave." And it clearly says that you sign documents and that here's a copy of all the documents that you signed. I didn't sign nothing. I didn't see nothing. 3, the problem is he said, you have to go online and I'm going to send you a code. Okay? So this is the next one. And this is going to say, when you say go online and you send and receive codes in emails, this is going to link online setup, and this is what you don't want. Because at that point, when he says, go to your email and give me that code, that means that this has been set up online and not as in person in the store. And this is going to send that email to that eSIM. And then it's going to be linked to that other phone number. So you're going to make a receipt right there at that time. And then when they do online setup, they're going to say, give me that code. And that code can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're going to put that in that online application that your duplicate profile is setting up with you. And you're just going to get the receipts so you can join. So then once you set up, they're going to go ahead and configure that network. Over Wi-Fi with a phone that has a special IP address and MAC address attached. And then once they get done with all of that, he said, download an app called T-Life. And he said, you have to activate this device through the app. But what if I don't want to download that? You're supposed to activate the device on but he didn't want to do that. Because when they send this code out, this is sending it to, this is like throwing it out. This is a catch and swap for the team. I'm throwing you guys the bait. Here, catch this. And so all of the people catch it and they go activating. Get online and activate their devices under this network. Because now what you have done for them is you have created a network. And once you have created this network, all of those agents and all of their garbage and activity is going to rain in like a flood. This gives them a network taking Joe out of the equation. This is a network that you're fully responsible for, and we're going to bring in the garbage. This is the link that you're waiting for. When you go to court and you want to link online criminal activity, pedophile behavior, online fraud, you need a person to take responsibility for a network. So what they did was created the network. Network stands for many. This is going to be many different phones, many different devices, many different profiles created by male and female. And they're going to connect this under this T-Life app. So then what you do is now go ahead and set the username. He never said set your own username. And he then said go ahead and delete the app. I'm going to delete it for you. That's what he said. Because he has my phone. He's taking possession of it. So he's taking the phone, clearly, put it in his hand, and I see him, and this is what his hand is doing. And they are communicating with him, and he's communicating with them, and this is all he's doing. Just destroying my phone at his leisure. He never used any of T-Mobile's equipment to activate this. He used mine, which is theirs, because of the duplicated SIM. So then he says, this has a SIM card already in it. Oh, we're definitely going to go there. You said it got a 1 in it. Hello? Okay. So let's add that. So we got the username and the password. Once you created that network, they said, okay, change your network to this. Which is why when you see me come home and activate, under that name, what does it say? Ding, 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 wrong password. But when you go into the app that he wanted to delete, it left the password available. So I would have been stuck, which is what they wanted to aggravate. So username and password. And then now, number 6, we're going to go into SIM card. It's already inside. Where did the SIM card come from? What did they hear at Walmart? You're looking for this. I will go over to T-Mobile. So conveniently, this was at another table with another male, somebody in the store. I think it was an older lady, a Mexican, and somebody here, me and this guy. And he says the SIM card is already in. So when you go to the SIM card, it's already in. Let's go to the phone number. Phone number. Here we go. 6588. How many bank cards is that? Count them up. So we're going to put a little up sign next to that. The law knows what that means. That means that is more than one account. So we're going to leave that because we know the phone number is a link. We don't have to ever worry about that. That is going to be the least of the concerns. It's a hard SIM in there. We know that is a problem. And it's going over Wi-Fi. We know that is a problem. And then we know that the network is now your responsibility. So now you have created a network for devices and TVs and phones, or same thing. And this is what is under that network that will turn into banks. So if you look at this, what is the problem? So when I went in there, I said, does the hotspot have a SIM card? Yeah. Okay. So this hotspot has a SIM card. Then if I wanted to stop this operation from happening to someone else, what am I going to do? If I wanted to stop this from happening to anyone else, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to not activate your secure. I'm going to separate. First of all, I'm going to change the device because I personally believe that it is impossible to stop any type of cybercrime when you're only using two-factor authentication. So I'm going to implement my device with 6-factor authentication that puts multiple layers of encryption and authentication around all connection points to your device. Right now, you're only connected 2 ways: phone, and your number, and email. And that's why you have hackers, because you're only connecting 2 ways. You need to be connecting 6 ways on your device. Those 6 layers of encryption covers every aspect of your phone all the way down to the IMEI number. So without that, you have nothing. You can attempt to be a cyber mogul and buy out T-Mobile or purchase lines or towers, and you would need billions of dollars to do this effectively, because what you want to do is dominate the towers so that these people don't have win. Because once you buy out the towers, then now you want to create. And so you're going to create the device that is going to go over security. Because now what you have in this camera is this doesn't have a SIM card. And I asked them about their Wi-Fi having a SIM card, but I didn't ask them about their cameras having a SIM card. The camera needs a SIM card, but in order for the camera and that SIM card system to really be impregnable, it needs to attach itself to a hard, secure line. Your security is only providing security up to the point of your Wi-Fi. And if your Wi-Fi goes out, then where is your security? So your camera needs to go to a hard line that goes to a tower, so that in the event that Wi-Fi is, if it detects a cut in that line or a sudden loss of power, that SIM card is going to kick in immediately, kind of like a generator. And it's going to pull every IP address within a certain radius. And it's going to record that data and hold it for your review. And it's going to run on the amount of gigabytes that you set. So you could say, I want you to run, in the event this happens, I want you to run on hotspot for up to 5 gigs. It's going to send you an alert, and it's going to let you know when it's nearing that point so you can extend it or whatever you want to do, so that it will take the data and pull it and erase it and record more, whatever you want to do. So it's going to have multiple layers here for the camera. But you still want that camera to be connected to a hard line on a secure device. So even though we're fixing the camera, because that is what gave me the problem, you still want your camera going to a secure linked system that is not Roku, that is not Ring. Those are not secure channels, because they're mainly depending on Wi-Fi. Though these cameras need a SIM card, and that SIM card needs to be protected, encrypted with 6 layers. And then it needs to connect to a hard line. And once it connects to a hard line, now you got options. Because now I just bought out everybody on the electronic market. I don't have nobody that is in competition with me because of the fact of I just bought you out. I bought the towers, and then I'm now in security, and then now what I just did from there, I bought out televisions, because now what I did was, and now that you got a camera, turn to channel 3, that's where your camera, that's your channel when you're not home. So as big as your television is, that's how much you can see. And then you can add your other ones here and there, but this gives you the ability to come on. And now guess what we got? We got FaceTime on your TV. Because what I did was took that technology and turned that, and just like I'm looking at this, we're on channel 3, and I'm talking to you from my car, and you're at home. So that is what this is. And that's why this TV is this, and this is this, and all of these devices are one and the same. So, which goes into your TV is chipped. Your camera is chipped, and I'm chipping your email. So, in my system, you can't hack me. You can't use my SIM card and go anywhere, because I'll see you by the time you get to number 3. And that's what 6 factor is. It puts the log on level 4 without you knowing that the log is on level 4. So by the time you get to this and you get to here, by the time you get to level 4, the police be at your door. You won't get past 4. So the purpose of this is to use artificial intelligence to create a secure platform that is codependent on an impregnable network. And this, I'm sorry, Roku is not doing it. And neither is the Ring. It's a wonderful system, but it needs Wi-Fi. And that sucks. So what you want is a SIM card, and then you want to build a security system that links to that SIM card, that links to the network, that links to backup. And so this is what you want your house to look like when you're not home. So now you have Roku, and you're leaving home, turn to channel 3 and leave it there. Well, that level number 3, this is my own network, so I can make any channel mine. Number 3 is your security channel. It's all things security. So when your kids want to see you or you want to see them, turn to channel 3. Open the app and we can see each other. You can communicate. So this is what TV is. And then this will go, because it'll be my TV, and it'll be my security system, and it'll be my tower, and it'll be my phone. Then now it'll be my games. Except I play games anyway. No, but I want to make a social media site. And so I could definitely do that with a device and the TV and my phone. So you're taking this and you're making something beautiful, because all of this is outdated. It's all garbage. Wonderfully made for the times in which we used it. And we're thankful for it, but it is all garbage. And if you really look at it, people that are paying big money for Wi-Fi are getting duped, because you're only as good as that connection. And when that connection is not there, what is securing your business? Nothing. So then, what are you going to do? You're going to build a system that does not depend on that. And I went today in Walmart and I looked at every one. There's not one camera on the market that does not depend on Wi-Fi. So what does that make me? A billionaire right now. Because I took what every company has and I made it into one. And what does that make me? Now the biggest billionaire, and I'm black, on the planet. Whether they give me the credit for it, it's true. Because who am I not beating with that plan? I'm beating everybody on the market. I'm beating out every phone company. I'm beating out every TV company. Because TCL is apps. Roku is apps. So I'm going to just take that idea and just come up with a phone that is apps. So then I don't need your TV anymore. What else do I need? I don't need your camera anymore because my TV is that. Because I am the camera. I don't need you anymore. So what else don't I need? I don't need your phone service anymore either. Why? Because I am all things data. And since I'm all things data, I don't need anybody else anymore. What does that make me now? That makes me a mogul, a giant, a billionaire, probably a gazillionaire, if that's even a word. Because of the fact of the way that you're connecting. And see, companies don't want to do that right now because they make money off of selling you data. But that is fading away. Because you have people now that is selling you a phone service for $25 a month. Some as low as $15 a month. So really, data is playing out. It's going to fade just like home phone service did. So in the event that it does, what else are we creating? We are creating brilliance. So then what does that mean that we're doing? That means that we're taking this philosophy, this approach, and we're turning it to, hold on, make sure, because somebody's playing with my phone right now. And so what that means is we're taking this and we're turning this into a system that works. So this right here, what they did today, is not what you would do to anyone. Number one, I've said before, you don't take people's devices and make them your own. And turn on Wi-Fi and start connecting. If T-Mobile is doing the connection, they need to do the connection on their devices. When their device is not involved, their IP address is not attached. So what that means is, what that says is, okay, when you go into court, then they're going to say, the IP address that activated this network was. And see, when they go on Wi-Fi and they connect to Jane Blue on this tablet, because they're bringing the tablet with them to go to T-Mobile to set up. So T-Mobile says, that's not our IP address. We don't own that. We didn't use that. Right, because he said, use your phone. And this is when you go to May of 2024, and the investigator says, let me hold your phone so I could pull what? The IP address, the data. And this is when You're under arrest. The information is wrong. And I welcome it. Because this right here is going to get me $436 million. Because I'm right. So when you come and pay out, because that's $436 million. Because this is generating false evidence. No further questions. Judgment for the plaintiff. $436 million. T-Mobile. And then go back and link the phone number to when it was established. No further questions. Judgment for the plaintiff. Settle down, settle down. That's what the judge gonna say. And that's it. But that is what this is. And I didn't have to take long about it and just rolls off. And that's exactly what this is. This is garbage. But, and my camera is still not working. Because if you look at it right now, it's not picking me up at all. And it just was. And I'm all dancing all in front of it. So they keep turning this off. They do not want this camera connected for some reason. So I'm going to go back and try to figure out what is wrong with my camera. And then I'll go from there. I'm very happy, though, that I was able to connect it. I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to end this live on YouTube. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to label this T-Mobile review. And those people know. That's a brilliant idea. And I'm happy about being able to connect to my camera again. Now, why they won't let me have any notifications on it, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. That is because of the way that it is connected to the phone. So, okay. It says that it's connected to system abuse, and it says activation date was 8/11/2004. The MAC address is the same. The model number is not. The model number on here, actually it is, but that's not the model number on the box. On the box it says CS1000R. And on here it says 1000X. But the MAC addresses are the same. This doesn't have an IP address on here. So I'm going to screenshot this. And that needs to go in my thing. Now I'm getting motion. I wasn't before. Let's see. I'm in America's New York time zone. I don't ever think I'm in the right time zone. I don't. Alright, so I'm going to add that photo to add to IP addresses. Alright. Now, so I have an IP address for this. And firmware version. Check for updates. Crystal Ketchup Room E. Events. Wow. I really miss this. I miss my camera. I just like to record. Ever since I've been a slave, you get obsessed with recording. My sister did. Because you think that if you record, that you have proof enough to say you weren't doing these, atrocious things that you get accused of. Still no motion, consistent, but I'm not gonna let that bother me. Now what I need to do is I need to connect my TV, and then I'm gonna pray, and then I'm gonna get offline, and I'm gonna watch me a movie now that I have everybody in the room with me, and their parents and their children and everything else, because this now brought probably about 50,000 people in this room. That box, it brought a network. That means a group. So, yeah. So let's see. Excuse me. Alright, so now we're starting that. I'm on live there. I'm online here. I love it. I could just live like this. I want to live like this. I just don't want to live talking about this. But I want to live like this. I do. When I start doing business for myself. So I found a place to stay. The amount is good, everything. And that is on my mind. So I want to go focus on that. And I really want to just go mellow out. So I'm going to leave this on live, but I'm going to get off and go meditate. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want it to take too much of my time. And I'm quite sure that device came from some man's house with balls. So now I am going to relax. I did a lot today. I did a lot of walking, and I want to relax. And that network probably goes to a system for remote employment, because in April of last year, actually around June or July, that lady came and they installed another network in on their TV. So that was probably what this is too. All things remote. I don't know why this one fell in. Weird. So I am going to rest my nerves. this go. I had a very long day. Even though I was only out for 3 hours, I left at about 3:06. Even though I was only out for 3 hours, that was a lot of traffic, a lot of people, a lot of scouts. When I went in the UPS, you should have seen how many people came in the store behind me. People don't give me no money for all of this extra traffic. They're only coming in to buy something from you because I'm there. And I don't get no cuts. I turned around and it was like the people all the way out the door. I'm like, God, leave. And it's like that everywhere I go. I go in there, it'll be nobody there. I come, 15 people coming behind me. God, leave. Come in the swamp. Alright, well thank you. I'm happy I have Wi-Fi. My camera is on, but it's not working, but it's on. But I'm not worried about that. That means that the other phone is just controlling it. But at least it's on. So I'm happy about that.
Right now, spring deals are under $20. You can save big on all your spring projects. Now through May 7th, shop spring deals under $20 at the Home Depot. get some of your flesh cut out of the way. I don't know who I'm talking to. And after the whole nation had been circumcised, they remained where they were in camp until they were healed. Isn't it funny how God will stop everything for you to get healed? How God doesn't want you to serve bleeding, serve wounded, that God wants you to be healed and to recover so that He can get the fullness out of your life. Then the Lord said to Joshua, today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. The reproach, the residue, the curse of Egypt has been rolled away. Even though you weren't born in it, you have reproach from it. These were born along the way. And yet the residue of the experience of their fathers had affected the sons. And he said, this day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. I want you to hear what I just said. They weren't in Egypt. They weren't from Egypt. They were born after Egypt. But the reproach of Egypt was still on them. Can you say amen? Say amen for the first lady. I see all y'all looking at it. I can't preach till you say something. So go ahead, let's get that out. So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. Okay? On the evening of the 14th day of the month, while camped at Gilgal on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. Now they went on completely to celebration. The day after the Passover, that very day, they ate some of the produce of the land, unleavened bread and roasted grain. The manna stopped the day after. What did it do? It stopped the day after they ate this food from the land. There was no longer any manna for the Israelites. But that year they ate the produce of Canaan. Just because God stops doing what you're used to doesn't mean He's not with you. You can't hold God back to who He was while He's trying to show you who He is. And you feel punished because the manna stopped. The manna stopped because it's no longer necessary. Sometimes God removes things out of your life because you don't need them like you used to need them. And yet you're crying out for what was at the expense of what is. Oh, help me, Jesus. Now, when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. And then this is not a natural man. This is a theophanic manifestation of God Himself, an angelic, a host of heaven, I believe, theophany within itself. Joshua went up to him and asked, are you for us or for our enemy? Just one thing about it, Joshua, kind of like Peter, he would take you on. Say, what's up? And the angel spoke, neither. He replied, but as the commander of the army of the Lord, I am the commander of the army of the Lord. I have now come. I didn't come for your enemy. I didn't come for you. I came for God's purpose. Then Joshua fell face down on the ground in reverence and asked him, what message does my Lord have for His servant? The commander of the Lord's army replied, take off your shoes, for the place whereon you are standing is holy. It's holy. Somebody shout holy. And Joshua did so. Can you say amen? Take me back to the first verse for just a moment. Along the coast, and dried up the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over. And they no longer had the courage to face the Israelites. My subject this evening, the power to stop.
bitch that bad.
Open up the oracle of eternity and release truth to us in our innermost hearts. I thank you in advance for what you want to do. I thank you because you love us by your spirit. I thank you because you believe in your word. Because you are sons. Yes, you do. The year of the Spirit of the Lord will sing to the church. We will give the utmost heedance to your word as you speak tonight. We will heed it and obey it. In Jesus' name we pray. At the top of your lungs, shout amen. You may be seated in the presence of God. Woo. I now dare. We are in the book of Joshua. 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 There is a parallel between Joshua and Yosh. Yeshua is Joshua's pronunciation. Jesus reveals himself in the New Testament, Yeshua. In the Old Testament, his shadow is Joshua. We are in the book of Joshua. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the weak. This is not for people who are fragile and sensitive. This is a book for people who are going to take what the enemy stole from them. This is not for those who cannot stand discomfort or draw back at turbulence. Because this is a book of transition. This is a book that comes right after the death of Moses. It is at the end of grieving. It is a benediction to that which was and the birthing of that which shall be. As I was with Moses, so shall I be with you. I will be with you as I was, but you will not be him. So this is a time of transition. This is a time of discovery, so that I might discover how to wear the glory of Moses in the authenticity of who I am. I cannot imitate him. I must be authentically Yeshua, but his anointing has come to rest upon me. If I
Excuse me.
identity. As I was, God says, as I was with Moses, so shall I be with you. So don't be him. Because I'm going to be the same, but you're going to be you. With my presence on you. Yeshua. Joshua. You're going to possess the gate of the enemy. I am going to use you to roll back the reproach of the Egyptians on a people who never met the Egyptians. A people who have not met the Egyptians but are affected generationally by their predecessors. The trauma of Egypt has fallen on the children of the wilderness. And I am going to pull the trauma off of them, even though their trauma does not match their memories. You do know you can inherit trauma without going through the things that your grandparents went through. They can pass on their phobias, their fears, their traumas, their anxieties, and all of a sudden you're acting in a way that you don't understand, and you don't know that it's not even coming from your birthday forward. It's coming before your birthday here. It happened way back to your grandparents or parents in Egypt, and they left you in the wheel. Their fear, their trauma, their perversion, their brokenness, their pain. And God says to Joshua, I've anointed you to roll back coast of Egypt from a man who had never been. I wonder what's on you that you never heard, that was passed down to you, that you became the beneficiary for something for which you did not labor, and yet it's all over you. Affects what you're afraid of, affects how you react, affects your temperament, affects your moods, affects your disposition, affects what you can't stand, what you can't take. And you don't know why you can't stand it because you've never been to Egypt, but Egypt has been to you. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? So there we are with Joshua having this responsibility, not only cleansing their heart from the grief of Moses, but cleansing their heart from the residual effect of the ancestral
Para continuar en español, marque el 9.
from generation to generation. He has to do it.
As part of this call, we may collect information about you to improve service. To learn more, go to metrobyt-mobile.com/privacy. I don't recognize the phone number you're calling from. Are you currently an existing Metro by T-Mobile customer?
Yes.
It's a bloody business.
What's your 10-digit Metro phone number?
The loosing and deliverance that we used to see in the church because we don't like how
We value the security of your account. For your protection, phone agents are required to collect a one-time PIN sent to a line on the account via text as part of every transaction. If you are unable to receive a text to any line on your account, please visit a Metro by T-Mobile location and present your ID for verification. I'm sorry, I'm having some trouble with the system. 1 minute while I find someone to help you. As always, we appreciate your business. Your call may be recorded.
Suffering and a time of silence while you heal. Real deliverance is painful. It doesn't accommodate your nervous system. It's not designed to make you feel good about yourself. And we live in a generation where
This call may be recorded for training and quality purposes, and we'd like to know what you think about your experience. After you talk to the representative, stay on the line to take a brief survey. All agents are currently busy assisting other customers. We do value your business. Please wait for the next available agent. Have you tried using the My Metro app to manage your account? There's a lot you can do right from your mobile device. Make a payment, set up auto pay, check your data usage, and even make changes to your rate plan or features. If you don't already have the My Metro app on your device, just download it for free from Google Play or the Apple App Store to get started. Need to change your rate plan or upgrade your device? Check out all the self-service options available to you when you sign into My Account on metrobyt-mobile.com from a computer. Set up auto pay, check your data usage, complete your profile, and more. Thank you for continuing to hold. Your patience is appreciated, and we will be with you shortly. Are you calling to add or remove services from your Metro? Hello, good day. Thanks for calling Metro by T-Mobile. This is Ray. How can I help?
Hi, I'm calling because I got internet from T-Mobile today, and I want to change my bill so that I'm not paying too much next month because I had okay. 909
Let me just pull up your
909 300 2829.
All right, thank you. First and last name.
Crystal Ketchup.
All right, I'll be sending you a one-time text message. Please provide me with the
for brethren to dwell together in unity. And it's like the oil that fell upon the head of Aaron onto his
424997.
it is like the dew that fell on Mount Hermon.
so much.
The dew that fell on Mount Hermon was presence. Many theologians think that Mount Hermon and Mount Transfiguration were the same.
Alright, I have successfully pulled up the account here, and you mentioned that you want to lower the bill.
Yeah. I don't I got my I got Wi-Fi today, so I don't need the extra gigabytes, the hotspot.
Okay, understand that. Now let me go back to your account and let's check. Hold on one moment. I can see that there was an error on your account, so it seems like you're trying to do the change online, right?
Yeah. And I just closed it out. I just closed it out.
Okay, understand. But there's actually an error because of that change. Don't worry, I will move it first, and then we will proceed with the change of plan rate to lower your bill. Okay? Keep the line. Whatever happens, do not practical, but I'm not allowed to do any changes on your account without you on this call. Okay?
Okay.
So much. First, I will remove the error message here, and then after that, we will proceed with the changes to see what are the plan rates available.
Okay.
Do you have any other concerns aside from this?
No.
So that they would have the sustenance that was necessary to support life. I'm headed somewhere. Now, we're going down. Somebody say we're going down. As the Jordan begins to collect all of its contributing factors and continues
Okay, I'm refreshing the system right now to see if we successfully remove the error.
Okay.
down, it goes lower and lower until it goes below.
Alright, so as I can see,
And eventually,
you have actually two phone lines. The line ending with 1471 is the tablet line. That is under $15 plan rate plus insurance for $3 plus maybe $18. And then your phone line is on a $65 plan rate plus $6 for the insurance, a total of $71. So if you are going to change your plan rate, let's see here. I'm checking. You're currently on the most updated plan rate. Okay. This gives you the eligibility to get unlimited call and text, unlimited data with 25 gigabytes of hotspot. Now, if you're going to downgrade your plan rate to lower the bill, I can put you on a starter plan rate, which is a $45 plan rate. That provides unlimited call and text and 10 gigabytes of data.
I need unlimited data. So
You need unlimited data, then that should be under $55 plan rate.
down online it says you don't have one for $50.
The $55 can be $50 if your account will be under autopay because you'll be getting $5 discount. With unlimited data, that's the lowest plan rate that we have right now.
Okay.
Okay, so it's gonna be unlimited call and text, unlimited data, 8 gigabytes of hotspot, 100 gigabytes of extra storage from Google One, free phone every 12 and 24 months, and the free phone upon activation if there's additional time. Okay, so I can put you on that plan rate. Do you want this effective immediately or future dated?
Effective immediately.
Alright, hold on just a moment, okay? Leave the line. The good thing about this new plan rate that we have is actually you can assure, we can guarantee you that there will be no changes on your plan rate because this has a 5-year price guarantee. If ever there's some update in our system that needs to change plan rate, this plan rate that you have will not be changed until you request it.
Okay.
Just a
the Sea of Galilee, there would be a Jordan. It starts up here with fresh water. There would be
Hold on, okay. Do you want to get the insurance?
Huh?
Costing you additional amount of $9 in total.
It-
Insurance.
Yeah, I need my insurance. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hold on just a moment. I'm checking here.
it's contaminated
This
below
is
sea
now
level.
rate code.
It becomes a dumping place for salt. You remember that
So you've got internet through T-Mobile, you mentioned,
escapes
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
right?
She had to
Yes, I did.
one more time, and her
Hello?
judgment was to
Yes, I did.
pillar of salt, and they were
Yes, I did.
Are you still there? Oh, okay. All right. Hold on, okay. Stay in the line. Do not drop the call because we're not really allowed to do any changes without you on this call.
Okay.
Thank you so much. How's Metro services so far?
I don't know. Let's see.
Why didn't you take advantage of getting, home internet through Metro?
Because they gave me a deal at T-Mobile to get
Are
it.
you still there?
They gave me a deal at T-Mobile to get it free.
Oh, got it. Alright, so hold on, just stay in the line because we're still working on your account, changing the plan.
Okay.
because it brings us into the promise. Just like Joshua had to go through the Jordan to bring us into a land that flows with milk and honey.
So while waiting, I'm doing triple check on our account and everything's good. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for being a loyal customer of Metro. Honestly, without customers like you, we don't have this job. So I'm just very grateful here. Thank you so much. We're hoping for more years this year. Okay?
Okay. So just to reiterate, your lowest plan that you have with unlimited data is $55.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So $55 plus the $6 for insurance, you're gonna pay $61 for your phone line, and then $18 for the tablet line. So your new monthly recurring charges will be $79 moving forward. But if you are going to actually put your account under autopay, you'll be getting $5 discount, which should be down to $74.
Let me ask you one other question. What plan? Am I on an unlimited plan with my tablet? How much is that?
Yes, this is $15 for the tablet, and yes, it is actually unlimited
Okay.
internet.
Okay.
Okay. So let me check here. I'm just refreshing the system to see the change. Okay, hold on. All right, so everything is good on your account. We successfully changed the plan rate down to $55. No monthly recurring charges is $79 total. Is there anything else I can provide you to make this collection special for you?
No. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'm super happy I'm able to actually assist you. This is a mission accomplished. So I would love to see your name at the end of this call. There will be a very quick survey for you, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Crystal.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Hallelujah to God. I feel something in this place because you wouldn't be on a Wednesday night at Bible class if you weren't serious about this thing and you want the power to stop. Somebody say, give me the power to stop. The radiation of the mountain is against me. The centrifugal force of the earth is against me. The gravitational pull of the planet is against me. But you have the power to stop. That which pulls me cannot have me because if God gets ready to stop it, He can stop it. Even though nature is pulling it, even though gravity is pulling it, even though circumstance is pulling it, if God stops it, He will break a law to create a dry place for me to cross over, for me to cross over. me prove it. Let me prove it since some of you have been there. Let me prove it by the scripture. The Bible says that Jesus was baptized in the Jordan by John the Baptist, and straightway the Spirit sent him into the wilderness. It's because the wilderness is on this side of the Jordan, and Jerusalem is on that side. So it wasn't hard for him to go into the wilderness because the fault line between the two places is the Jordan itself. Are you with me? This is Bible class. Come on, let me know it's Bible class. So, what does it mean to be on a gradation where the current is pulled by gravity to a place so low? Jesus is baptized in the Jordan. Let me finish that. Jesus is baptized in the Jordan to typify our sins being washed into the sea of forgetfulness, not to be remembered in this world or the world to come. Jesus is baptized in the Jordan to typify to me through shadows and types that my old man is as dead as the Dead Sea. Jesus is baptized in the Jordan River to let me know that everything, every curse, every reproach of Egypt, everything that was on me, every hex, every spell, every wicked device, every enemy has been thrown into the Dead Sea. That's why he doesn't want to be talking about my past, because he can't see it anymore. It's gone into the Dead Sea where this is how you win. Because everyone else is winning. You have to hear from God. And once you hear from God, you have to obey God at all costs, at no compromise. Don't you worry or stop it. Stand with God. Things may get tough. Things may get worse before it gets better. But if God is on your side, everything's going to get over. I believe, worship Him. You are who you say that you are. Do what you say you will do. You come through. You are always able. I believe you've already made a way. Come on. So I'm running through hard way straight to you. You are always faithful. I believe you are who you say that you are. You do what you say you will do. You come through. Come on. You are always faithful. I believe you've already made a way. For a special homecoming Sunday at Miracle Healing Center Church in Kinney, Texas, for a grand NXT Church family reunion, bringing together partners and viewers from across the globe. Whether you're local or travel from afar, we invite you to join us Sunday, May 25 at 10 a.m. for a powerful time of worship, inspiring preaching, fellowship, and the manifestation of God's glory. Experience a meaningful time of spiritual renewal. Meet Pastor Sean and Amy Pender and connect in person with our faith community. We're eager to unite in prayer, join our faith with you, and witness God's power in action. Miracles happen when we gather in faith. Don't miss this chance to be part of something extraordinary. Come expecting, leave transformed. Secure your spot now. Register today at seanpender.net/register. The registration deadline is May 16th. We can't wait to see you.
Church. In the name of Jesus, I thank you and praise you, God. I thank you and praise you for everything that you've done. Thank you for your goodness and your grace and your mercy. For you truly go before me and you make a way for me. In the presence of everything that's going wrong, help me to trust you, God. Help me to trust your wisdom. Give me peace in my heart and in my soul. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hey everyone, let's talk about the IRS form. I'm working on it.
Are you watching your first hockey game?
Hey everyone, let's talk about the IRS form 1040 taxes. It might seem overwhelming at first, but with the right approach, it's much easier to manage than you might think. Today, I'll walk you through the form so you can file your taxes confidently and avoid common mistakes. So, Form 1040 is the main document used to file your U.S. individual income tax return. Whether you're using tax software or filling it out manually, understanding how it works is key to making sure your taxes are accurate and stress-free. Let's start with a quick overview. The form begins with your personal information, your name, address, social security number, filing status, and dependents. It might seem like just basic details, but getting this section right is important because errors here can slow down processing or even trigger an IRS notice. Now let's talk about calculating taxable income. This is where you report everything you earned in 2024: wages, salaries, bonuses, freelance work, and any other sources of income. The more accurate you are, the smoother the rest of the filing process will be. Flipping to page 2, this is where your tax liability is determined. You'll subtract any tax credits you qualify for and factor in the taxes you've already paid throughout the year. Think of it as balancing what you owe with what you've already contributed. At the end of the form, you'll see whether you're due a refund or if you need to pay additional taxes. Form 1040 helps you figure out if your withholdings and credits were enough to cover your tax bill. Now let's go through an example. Imagine John, a single filer working on his taxes for 2024. He's filled in his personal information, including his name, his social security number, and address. He's checked the box for single as his filing status. There's also an optional box for contributing to the presidential election campaign, but checking it won't change your tax amount or refund. For anyone involved with cryptocurrency or digital assets, there's a specific section for that. The IRS requires you to report any buying, selling, or trading of digital assets. So if that applies to you, make sure you fill it out accurately. John didn't have any digital assets, so he checked no and moved on. Next, let's talk about dependents and deductions, since they can significantly impact taxable income. A dependent is someone you financially support who qualifies under IRS rules, like a child or relative. Claiming a dependent can lower your taxable income and make you eligible for valuable tax credits. The IRS has strict rules for this, including age, residency, and financial support requirements, so it's important to check if you qualify. John's situation is simple. He has no dependents and isn't claimed as one. If you do have dependents, be sure to list them correctly and claim any applicable credits. Now on to reporting income. John has a W-2 from his employer showing he had taxable wages for the year. If you have multiple jobs, freelance income, or side gigs, you'll need to gather all your tax forms, like W-2s and 1099s, and make sure you report everything accurately, including any estimated taxes paid. In addition to wages, you might have interest income. Interest can be taxable or tax exempt. Tax exempt interest, like municipal bond earnings, doesn't count toward your taxable income, but interest from savings accounts, CDs, or investments is taxable. John reported some taxable interest from his bank account, which was slightly higher this year due to higher interest rates. Next, we come to capital gains. This applies if you've made money from selling stocks, real estate, or other investments. A capital gain happens when you sell an asset for more than what you paid for it. If you sold for less, that's a capital loss. These gains and losses must be reported separately. John didn't have any, but if you do, make sure to check the instructions for properly reporting them. Then, adding up all his income sources, John calculated his total income. Since he had no adjustments, his total income and adjusted gross income were the same. But if you have adjustments like student loan interest deductions or contributions to a retirement account, you'd subtract those from your total income to get your adjusted gross income. Now, let's look at the standard deduction versus itemized deductions. The standard deduction is a flat amount that lowers your taxable income, while itemized deductions are based on actual expenses, like mortgage interest, medical costs, and charitable contributions. The IRS adjusts the standard deduction each year for inflation, so be sure to check the latest numbers for your filing status. John took the standard deduction because it was the better option for him. But if your itemized deductions add up to more than the standard deduction, it may be worth itemizing. He then subtracted the deduction from his income to calculate his taxable income. And using the IRS tax tables, he found his tax amount for that income level. Now, tax brackets shift slightly each year, so it's important to check the latest numbers. Based on his taxable income, John found the tax amount that applies to his filing status and entered it on page 2 of Form 1040. Page 2 also covers tax credits, which can reduce your tax bill. One major credit to be aware of is the child tax credit, which can be worth up to a certain amount per qualifying child. Tax credits reduce what you owe dollar for dollar, so it's worth checking if you qualify. John didn't have any credits, so his tax amount remained the same. Now let's talk about federal tax withholding. This is the amount already taken out of your paychecks throughout the year. John checked his W-2 and saw his federal income tax withholding. If you switch jobs or work multiple jobs, be sure to add up the withholding from all your W-2 forms. And for freelancers, gig workers, and anyone earning self-employment income, estimated tax payments are important. These payments help cover your tax bill if you don't have taxes automatically withheld. If you made estimated tax payments, be sure to report them accurately. John added up all the taxes he paid during the year, including withholding and any estimated payments. The total amount he paid was more than what he owed, meaning he overpaid. That brings us to the refund or amount owed section. If you paid more than you owe, you'll get a refund. If you paid less, you'll need to pay the remaining balance. John had overpaid. Qualified. John didn't have any credits, so his tax amount remained the same. Because it was the better option for him. But if your itemized deductions add up to more than the standard deduction, it may be worth itemizing. He then subtracted the deduction from his income to calculate his taxable income. And using the IRS tax tables, he found his tax amount for that income level. Now, tax brackets shift slightly each year, so it's important to check the latest numbers. Based on his taxable income, John found the tax amount that applies to his filing status and entered it on page 2 of Form 1040. Page 2 also covers tax credits, which can reduce your tax bill. One major credit to be aware of is the child tax credit, which can be worth up to a certain amount per qualifying child. Tax credits reduce what you owe dollar for dollar, so it's worth checking if you qualify. John didn't have any credits, so his tax amount remained the same. Now let's talk about federal tax withholding. This is the amount already taken out of your paychecks throughout the year. John checked his W-2 and saw his federal income tax withholding. If you switch jobs or work multiple jobs, be sure to add up the withholding from all your W-2 forms. And for freelancers, gig workers, and anyone earning self-employment income, estimated tax payments are important. These payments help cover your tax bill if you don't have taxes automatically withheld. If you made estimated tax payments, be sure to report them accurately. John added up all the taxes he paid during the year, including withholding and any estimated payments. The total amount he paid was more than what he owed, meaning he overpaid. That brings us to the refund or amount owed section. If you paid more than you owe, you'll get a refund. If you paid less, you'll need to pay the remaining balance. John had overpaid, so he's getting a refund. He entered the overpayment amount and decided to have the full amount refunded. And to speed up the process, it's best to enter direct deposit information, since direct deposits are processed much faster than paychecks. Also, to avoid errors when filling out Form 1040, double check your numbers, claim any deductions and credits you're eligible for, and make sure all sections are completed correctly. Some sections may not apply to you, and that's fine. Just leave them blank. So the example we just went through is a great starting point, especially for those with simple tax situations, like single filers with W-2 income and no dependents. But tax situations can vary. If you have multiple income sources, self-employment income, or more complex deductions, consider using tax software or working with a tax professional to make sure everything is accurate. And once everything is complete, sign and date the return, review it one last time, and file it with the IRS before the deadline. And that's it. Everyone's tax situation is different, so use this as a guide and check with a tax professional if you need personalized advice. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And don't forget to like, follow for more tax tips and updates.
Ram has always powered American freedom. Now with our freedom.
So this Form 1098 is issued by educational institutions to taxpayers who have made payments for qualified tuition and related expenses. And taxpayers can use this form when they're completing IRS Form 8863 to claim either the American Opportunity Tax Credit or the Lifetime Learning Credit, which results in a dollar-for-dollar tax credit on the applicable tax return. So in this video, we're going to go through this Form 1098-T, kind of cover some of the main points of this and how you would use the information here to go about claiming that education tax credit. So on the left-hand side of the form, you should see the information for both the filer, which would, in most circumstances, is the educational institution, and then also your taxpayer ID number, so as the student. So in this case, in the case of John Doe, we have Acme University, we have their address and phone number, we have their complete employer identification number. This number is never truncated when it's the institution that's filing this form. In the taxpayer ID number for the student, however, you'll likely see a truncated form of your social security number, your individual taxpayer ID number, your adoption taxpayer ID number, but in copy A, which is the form that goes to the IRS, this will never be truncated. It'll be your complete tax reporting information. So there are three versions to this form, or three copies. The first goes to the IRS. Copy B should be for you as the student, and then copy C is retained by the educational institution. Now, following this, you should see your name and address, and then below this, you'll see something called service provider and account information. So if you have an account number, you might see that. If there's an additional office that you are supposed to contact for further guidance, you might see that information here. The IRS requires an account number be listed only in circumstances where the same institution is issuing more than one Form 1098-T to the same person. So if I was a student and I was paying for my own tuition and then someone else's tuition, then I might have two different accounts, and I would see each account listed on separately on two different forms of versions of the Form 1098-T. Otherwise, the IRS recommends that each college enters an account number, but does not require them to. So you also see Block 8 here. We'll get to that momentarily, but we're going to go ahead and go through each of these in order. So at the very top, you'll see in Box 1, this is the total payments that were received for qualified tuition and related expenses. The IRS actually has some very specific detailed information about what is considered to be a qualified education expense, qualified tuition, and all of that has to do with exactly what your money is going to. So we're going to take a step back here and we're going to tuition to an eligible education institution, which is a college, university, vocational school, or other post-secondary educational institution that is eligible to participate in the Department of Education student aid programs. So most likely, the college that is issuing your Form 1098-T meets those requirements. However, every once in a while you hear about colleges that aren't accredited, where taxpayers don't know the difference, and as a result, they get defrauded, or at the very least, they're not able to take this tax deduction. Now, probably the more difficult concept is the qualified tuition and related expenses. So you pay a lot of different types of fees, charges. Qualified tuition and related expenses are specifically defined by the IRS as tuition, required fees, and course materials that a student needs to be enrolled at or to attend their eligible educational institution. Specifically, any amounts that are paid for sports, games, or hobbies are not considered to be qualified tuition unless the course or other education is part of the degree program or is taken to acquire or improve job skills. So if you paid sports fees or some sort of program fees related to an extracurricular activity, that's not going to be included here unless for some reason that was also a requirement for your degree. And then the second thing, and probably the most notable thing, is that this is not going to include things like room and board, insurance, medical expenses, even student health fees are not considered qualified tuition and related expenses. Transportation, other living expenses, family expenses. So you're going to see an amount reported to you in line 1 that probably does not correspond with what you believe you paid. So in this instance, we paid $10,000 during the year. That doesn't mean that that's all John Doe paid for school. That just means that's the amount of that the financial institution is reporting in terms of qualified tuition and other related expenses. So in blocks 2 and 3, they're reserved for future use. In block 4, you see a space titled Adjustments Made for a Prior Year. This simply means that if the college made an adjustment for a prior year for qualified tuition, then this is where it's going to make that adjustment. That adjustment might reduce the allowable education credit that you claim for the prior year. So if for some reason you took a deduction based on the fact that you were reported a certain amount of money, and then you have an adjustment in the next year's tuition statement, you may need to go back to what is called recapture that.
Wow, look at her. All these good choices, and it's not even 8 a.m. That's really going to change things around there for the better.
That change. So if you need to do that, IRS Publication 970 has a couple of examples of how you would recapture that education credit and then recalculate any deductions, specifically if you needed to recapture either the American Opportunity Tax Credit or the Lifetime Learning Credit, to go back and recalculate the amount of your tax credit that you took in the year. There are some instances where maybe you paid way more than was required, and so your adjustment doesn't really affect the actual credit, but in each instance, you should still go back to do the calculation because that might throw you off. In box 5, it lists any scholarships or grants that were administered and processed by the college on your behalf. So this might also reduce the amount of education credit So you'll see a recurring theme here. There are lots of different federal tax credits that may be available for education-related purposes. Not just credits, but programs, benefits, things of that nature. So you may be able to claim a tax credit. You may be able to take an above-the-line or tax deduction for student loan interest that you paid during the course of the year. That would be on Schedule 1 of your tax return. You may have tax-free scholarships or grants. You may have tax-free withdrawals from your 529 plan or your Covered L education savings account. But the common theme is that the IRS is not going to allow you to double dip. So, for example, if you paid $10,000 in qualified tuition, and then in addition, included in that $10,000 payment was $2,000 worth of scholarships, then you can't use that $2,000 worth of scholarships in your calculations for either the education credits or anything else. So you would have to basically reduce the amount of payments that you sent by the amount of scholarships that they received. In box 6, this is an adjustment to scholarships or grants for a prior year. So again, this might also impact your credits if this is a significant amount. In box 7, this would be checked if this box 1 amount also includes anything that you paid for the following tax year, so January through March of 2024 for the 2023 tax year. And again, IRS Publication 970 has additional information on how you would report that in your tax return, and under what circumstances you would be able to claim a credit or some other tax benefit. Box 8 and box 9 are simply checked. So box 8, if you're at least enrolled half-time as a student towards some sort of degree or certificate program, then that box will be checked. And this is an important requirement for the qualification of some of these tax benefits, is that you have to be enrolled at least half-time. So this kind of checks the box. It also informs IRS that you may be applying for a tax benefit based on that. Box 9 is checked if this is for a graduate student, and then there are certain changes in program availabilities based on that. For example, the American Opportunity Tax Credit is only available for the first 4 years of education. So if you've used that for 4 years of your bachelor degree, and now you're a graduate student, you're no longer able to take the American Opportunity Tax Credit. You may have to take the Lifetime Learning Credit instead. And box 10 is the amount of reimbursements or refunds that may have been made by an insurer. So this probably won't come up too often, but if it does, you're probably going to know the reason why. And this also may reduce the availability of an education tax credit. So that's all we have for Form 1098-T in terms of how to read this form and understand it. We will put links in the show notes to other forms that we mentioned in this video, specifically IRS Form 8863, as well as other videos that may cover education-related expenses. So, if you want to read about this, we created an article as an accompaniment. Simply go to the link in the show notes, or you can go to our website. Type in teachmepersonalfinance.com, and once the website shows up, you can type in IRS Form 1098-T in the search bar, and you should see our article here. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter, and if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in the show notes. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays for those who love family resorts and for those who do not. There we go. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
Hey Google.
He's not done with what he started. He's not done until it's good. Oh, let him work it for your faith. Who am I talking to tonight? Watch him turn it for your good. He's not done with what he started. 'Cause he's not done till it's good. So hello, 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 hello. It's a new horizon. Hello, peace. Hello, joy. Hello, hello, hello. It's a new horizon. If you're ready for a break, you can open up and just receive. Just while he's pouring out his love, you've never seen. You've never seen. Hello, peace. Hello, joy. Hello, love. Hello, strength. Hello, hope. Hello, peace. Hello, joy. Hello, love. Hello, strength. Hello, hope. It's a new rise. Somebody lift those hands and say, it's a new rise. I need you to speak it over your own life tonight. It's a new rise. It's a new rise. It's a new rise. It's a new day for you. It's a new rise. Oh, it's here right now. It's a new rise. 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 Fear is not my future. You are. Oh. Satan is not my story. You are. Oh. Listen, y'all. Heartbreak's not my home. You are. You are. Oh. Death is not the end. You are. Somebody shout it out. Fear is not my future. You are. Satan is not my story. You are. Who you are. Who is up today? Heartbreak's not my home. You are. You are. You are. And death is not the end. Death is not the end. You are. You are. You are.
Exodus chapter 14 captures God's people on the verge of a new horizon. They made their exodus out of Egypt. 400 years of generational captivity and bondage. They can see the land flowing with milk and honey. They can see a season where they transition from not enough to more than enough. They can see the season where they reap the harvest of joy for the seed of tears. But there's something between them and their new horizon. It's something called the Red Sea. The Red Sea's in front of them, but also their past that doesn't want to let them go. The Egyptians are behind them. They feel trapped. But if God is the God of the exits, we're never trapped. Even if there isn't a way, He'll make one. And many remember this story by God causing the wind to blow and part the Red Sea so that they can walk into their new horizon and say hello to this new season in their life. But I saw something in the text I want to share, make a prophetic announcement to you in here tonight. And that is, before God gave them their hello, He gave them a goodbye. As they stood on the edge of the Red Sea, Moses told the Israelites, stand still and you will see the salvation of the Lord. For the enemy you see today, you will see no more. And I came to tell somebody tonight, this is not just your season of hello, it's your season of goodbye. So hello, peace. Hello, peace. Hello, joy. So goodbye, fear.
Been a long time.
Goodbye, fear. So new horizon. So goodbye, fear. Can you take 30 seconds
It's been a long
and begin
time.
to give an exit to depression, to sickness, to whatever's been bothering you? Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Somebody say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. It's a new horizon. So goodbye, shame. Goodbye, fear. Oh, goodbye, hate. Oh, it's a new. I'm letting it go tonight. So goodbye, fear. Goodbye, shame. Goodbye. It's a new horizon. It's a new horizon. It's a new horizon. It's a new.
Okay. Available returns, wages and transfers. So where's that? 9,000. Alright, so 2022 verification of 9,000 letters. Right. Why do I have that? 2021. This tax year, December 22. So 23. 23. So 22. What you follow 23. So 22 shows 2 employees.
So, Father, we thank you
And police
that
says
something new is free to go. And we say goodbye to the thing that's been holding us for so long. And I thank you that tonight, what was above me is now under me.
Alright, that's a 222. Alright, 223 should only be only up to 23. So 23, 2023 was, I only worked at 2023. Why did they have two? 2023. HARR. I only worked at, I only worked at UPS. So, January, February, March, April, and I have no job. That's 23. That's off $160. December 23. Came down here. Got the job there. A staffing place. Staff zone. It wasn't 24. It was 23. Mm-hmm. Staff zone. Alright. So 23. So 22 is right. And what do I need from here? This is good. What do I need? 22. I need something. Oh, the pen. So 24, it says that it has wages. So if I do 24, it has 269. And I got 1,300. That's like $700 off. And then relations. Okay, I'm not following that. So that's that. So record of account. I need. Let's see. Let's see, menu. Alright. 126. Okay. This is on January 10th. And this is. Alright, so this is going to be. This is going to be for 2022.
Get it before halftime. Get it in as fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
So this is going to be. 23. This is what you get in January 23 to file for 22. That's going to be. Oh, yeah. This is 67. This is for 2022. And let's do 25. And this is so then I'm gonna do this and then Alright, I did go for your taxes. Great job. Now I need, this is a 2022, 23, and 24. Great job. Taxes are done. Alright, this is this thing. This is This needs to be done. Need a pauper's affidavit for Marta to have them signed. One at a time. So we need to get an order. Needs a form for that. I did my taxes. Good job. Ketchup needs a poverty affidavit, and I got that. Alright. Next, I need what's on my list to do. On my list of things to do. Things to do. I did my 2022 and 24 taxes complete. Call for an appointment and running print application. I did that. Check on Marta. I didn't do that. Start taking things to the storage. Check on Strayer. I did that. And I need to apply for a job. Do a good thing on my to-do list. Alright. Let's get ready for to me